Assalamu alaikum. Last night I was watching 10 Black TV, the Wolfpack, and he's a news guy, news and politics. He has a YouTube show, and I like to watch him. He's pretty good most of the time. But this particular show, he brought on Mark Thompson, and they were talking about politics, Democratic Party. They talked about reparations and some other topics, but people like Mark Thompson don't get it. Mark Thompson is stuck on Pan-Africanism, black nationalism. Pan-Africanism has not worked for us and is not working for us. Matter of fact, we the only ones believing that shit. Okay? In the reparations discussion, there's a disagreement between Native blacks and mostly other Native blacks. Some of us, we say, look, reparations for slavery and Jim Crow are due to the people whose families come from American chattel slavery and Jim Crow. It's not for all black people, black Americans across the board, because prior to 1965, there was hardly any black immigrants in this country. Most of them came after 1965, when our government changed the immigration laws due to the civil rights movement and the civil rights struggle. That's when the vast majority of black immigrants came to this country. Matter of fact, not just in the mid to late 60s, but actually in the 90s is when the huge number of black immigrants started coming to this country. Okay? So their families did not suffer American chattel slavery or Jim Crow. Therefore, reparations for those atrocities should go to the people whose families experienced it. The Pan-Africanists, like Narcan and Cobra, they just want to give it to anybody black across the board that might have suffered some kind of discrimination. Okay? And this is where the disagreement lies. If you're going to give reparations for slavery and Jim Crow to any black person that just got here, well, you might as well give it to any brown person that just got here. What's the difference? You see, if there's a class action lawsuit against, let's say, one of these talcum powder companies that made talcum powder, but it gave people cervical cancer. Okay, the only people that have a claim against this company are the people that suffered harm due to using their product. It doesn't extend from that out to everybody that might have suffered some random harm from who knows where. It's for the people who suffered harm from that company, those people, and maybe their family members. That's it. It doesn't extend to everybody. So, these people, black people that are practicing Pan-Africanism, you're the only, black Americans, you're the only ones doing it. Nicki Minaj just dragged Michael B. Jordan for so-called cultural appropriation because of a name that he was naming a rum that his company was making. The name is from Trinidad. So they went in on this brother and accused him of cultural appropriation. Nicki Minaj is a cultural appropriator. Nicki Minaj's people came here after the civil rights movement and the civil rights struggle that we went through. Her family was allowed to come here. And Nicki was allowed to go to a school that prior would not allow black people to enter. So she's a direct beneficiary of our struggle. You understand? Of our, oppression. Okay? That spot that she got in that prestigious high school should have gone to a native black American. But no, Nicki got it. And guess what? Nicki's people from Trinidad. If Nicki wanted to go to Trinidad right now and get a free education, she could, because her parents are from Trinidad. But guess what? Trinidad ain't gonna give you a free education. Your parents are native to this country. Or if you're a Nigerian, okay? Or if you're a Jamaican. Trinidad is not gonna give you a free education because you're black. They're gonna give you a free education because you're a Trinidadian or your parents are Trinidadian. You see? They're not practicing Pan-Africanism in Trinidad. Okay? We're the only ones doing it, and it's not working for us, and it's not benefiting us. And I'm not against black immigrants. Don't get it twisted. Don't misunderstand what is being said. I have nothing against anybody from anywhere, especially black people. But at the same time, don't, try to take from me, belittle my struggle, belittle my history, get all the benefit you can from my people, but then deny us benefit from you and your people. Nicki can't make the Trinidadian government give me or my children a free education, but she can go get it. But then she can eat off our plate here too. CARICOM has lawsuits against European powers for slavery and colonialism and all that. That ain't got nothing to do with us. They're not giving us nothing. If they get some money from England or France or Spain or whoever, none of that's coming over here to me. And rightfully so. That's their history. That's their struggle. You understand? That's their pain. Those were their ancestors. I shouldn't get any of that because that's not my history. That's not my. I wasn't harmed by Spain. I wasn't harmed by France. So whatever they get from those countries, that's for them, and rightfully so. And whatever we get from our government here is for what our government did to us or allowed to be done to us. And no one else should have a piece of that pie. Now, if you have another argument, go make your argument. You see, Joe Biden just gave the Indian tribes $31 billion. The U.S. government paid reparations to Guam. Matter of fact, the U.S. paid reparations to Guam for what the Japanese did to them during World War II. Ain't that something? But anyway, yeah, Mark Thompson, he needs to take a seat somewhere and just be quiet, because the majority of those co-sponsors that signed on to HR 40 signed because of the work of ADOS Movement, Antonio Moore, and Yvette Carnell. Assalamu alaikum.